What's up everyone, and welcome on back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. If you are one of my returning subscribers, hello and welcome back. We are getting into one of our classic cash envelope stuffings. It's been, I think, 3 months since I've been able to sit down and do a cash stuffing, so I am super excited about today's video and hopefully you guys are as well. But if this is your first time stopping by on the channel, you have no idea who I am. Hello, my name is Monet. I am 29 years old, and here on this channel I have been documenting my financial journey for the past 5 years. I am a cash budgeter that utilizes the cash envelope system. It's helped me get out of debt, which I documented that entire journey here on this channel, so check that out if you haven't seen it. And this method also is helping me save and invest and just become more financially responsible, which is one of my goals. So if any of that interests you and that sounds like something that you enjoy and you would like to be a part of the family, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, hit the bell, and make sure you are always notified whenever I upload my next video. So for the regulars, it is finally here, long awaited. I truly debated even uploading this video because it's so late in the year. If I plan it out right, this is going to be out on the last day of 2025. So just a real circle moment, because it's funny that my first cash stuffing that I am doing from my new job is going to be the last cash stuffing that I do in 2025. Either way, we're excited. So if you're interested in seeing how I'm going to budget that income, then of course, just keep on watching. All right, so getting into our cash stuffing, it's so nice to see the layout. We have the cash here. For myself personally, I do not take all of the cash out for my paychecks. I take out just my variable income and my sinking funds, and then for big bills and things that I know I'm gonna pay electronically or things that I just don't deal with cash with, I keep that within my account. This paycheck is going to be a little wonky. So just to set the backstory, I did get this paycheck on December 23rd. So I've had the money for some time, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, the holiday was coming up and I have just been swiping. So a lot of this paycheck has already been spent with me swiping my card, and I had to pay myself back. And then whatever is left is basically what we are gonna cash stuff. So hopefully you guys can follow along. I still just wanted to go ahead and put the video out just so that we can at least sit together for my first paycheck, because it's been a minute. It's been a long journey since I've been able to do this with full-time income. So as for this paycheck, with me getting that on December 23rd, this is only accounting for a week's worth of pay for myself. And with this paycheck, this is before I'm able to get any deductions. So I haven't taken out any 401k, I haven't taken out any health insurance. All of that is going to get started in the new year. So this number is not going to be the normal once I get my deductions taken out. So looking at what we have, we see that we are working with $465, and after all of my spending, like I said that I did, this is what I was left with. So this is what we are going to cash stuff today. And for any of those who have been interested or are unaware, most of the products that you will see me use, such as my bank slip, my bank bag, my binder, my cash dividers, my cash envelopes, a lot of the products and stuff that I have is available within my website. And my website is back up and running at its full capacity, so you can now order the physical products, the digital products, everything. I wanted to try and enter the new year with everything ready to go, so be sure to check that out if that's something that you're interested in or things that you have been waiting on. So now that we kind of got the big picture, let's go ahead and move over the things that we aren't going to use yet. I'm going to put my binder to the side and get started with my wallet, and let's break down the overall paycheck and then get started with the cash stuffing. All right, so for my first paycheck, I had a deposit of $1,333. And let me first get started with all of the deductions for things that I don't take the physical cash out for. So the first deduction from this paycheck is going to be my tithe. I normally don't share my tithe. I always have taken my tithe out of my paycheck, but I normally keep it private because I just feel like, you know, it was a private thing that I was doing, and I get comments on it, whether I share it, whether I don't share it. But with the season of everything that I went through, a lot of that was also very tied to my faith. But I'm just trying not to be, I guess, so private, but just, you know, be honest with the things that I do regarding my faith. And I am a person that wants to practice tithing. So I have been doing it, and I'm just gonna decide to go ahead and just share what it is. That is going to get $133. So I took that out and put that aside for that. Then the next part is kind of a weird one. I just classified it as rollover, and I'm putting aside $115 of my paycheck for that to cover things that I feel like I might have to pay regarding my apartment. So if you've been keeping up, I did recently move, and when I signed the lease for my apartment, I got a special where I get 10 weeks free. So when I moved in, I paid for December, and then going into January, I get those 4 weeks free. So I technically don't have to pay January's rent. So that's why I wasn't putting aside for rent this month. But in the back of my mind, I still feel like I might have to pay random things. Like, I know my utilities are on, but I haven't received my first bill for my utilities. So if I get charged for gas, water, since I just started it, I don't know what date it's supposed to come in. So just in case that bill comes before I get my next paycheck, I want to put some money aside. And then, as I said, for rent, there's nothing for me to have to pay for January. So basically that's what the rollover is. I'm just rolling that over into my next pay period just to cover me in case any random thing comes through. And then the last bill that I'm not taking physical cash out is for gas, of course. I now get my gas from Sam's Club, and I always pay straight from the app with my phone. So there's never any cash involved. So there's no need for me to take the cash out just to put the cash back in. So I'm just setting aside $30 to put towards my gas fund. So those are the first bulk of bills for things that came out of my paycheck. And now we can get into my variable expenses, which again is going to be a lot of shifting and changing because I have been spending money from them and I have to pay myself back. All right, so getting into my wallets, let's go ahead and take out my cash dividers. I am still participating in the dollar challenge. We're going to keep it up until the end of the year. So this will be the last time for 2025 that I will contribute. And basically any dollars that I have left over in my variable expenses is what I put to the side, and I add that to the jar. So getting into spending, I did budget to give myself $350 from spending for this paycheck. And yes, I know that is high, but as I said, this fell right before the holidays, and my mom came to visit me for the holidays, and we have a lot of activities planned. She's still here, so we still have some more activities planned, but I knew a good bulk of that pay was going to go towards the things that we were going to visit while she was here. So even though I budgeted $350, after I kind of balance myself out and see what I actually have left over, I'm only going to be cash stuffing $24 to add to this section. So looking at spending, I do have $1, so I'm going to set that to the side. And then adding $45, that will now bring the balance of spending to 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 135, 140. So that's now $140 that I have for spending. And yeah, guys, like I said, I was going a little bit off the rails. I have not accumulated any more debt, which is always my top priority, but I do need to get back into the habit of cash. I have got the tendency to just swipe, and I need to physically see how much money I have left, so I know when to calm it down. And that's why I really love this system, because that's the only thing that works for me. If I don't see the money, I feel like it's not real, and I'm just swiping, tapping, and I just can't do that. So next we get into groceries, and groceries was budgeted with $150, and after my grocery shopping that I did, I am going to now give myself $90. So 50, 70, and 90 for that. Looking at groceries, I had 20, no singles. So now that brings groceries to 50, 70, 90, 110. So 110 for groceries, and that should be good. Up next, we're moving into toiletries. Toiletries was budgeted at $30, and $30 is what it will be getting. So a 20 and a 10. Looking at toiletries, I do have some singles, so I can set that to the side. And now that gives me 50, 70, 80, 90, and 95. So $95 for toiletries there, which is great. Up next is clothing. Clothing is getting 20. I budgeted 20 and I haven't spent from that category, so it's getting the full 20. I have no singles, so that's 20, 40, 60, $65 for clothing. And then lastly is eating out, and this has been used definitely. So I was budgeted $30, but I'm only going to give myself $5 because that's all I have left. And this has quite a few singles, so we're gonna set that to the side. And adding 5, that now gives us 5, 10. So $10 we're eating out. So yeah, I knew I needed to cool it, and now that I see I only have $10, I definitely need to cool it because my next paycheck is not until January 9th. So that is all I have. So that will be that for my variables, which is so satisfying to see. I can go ahead and put that back in my wallet and get back on my routine, get back on what I love to do. So that is just so satisfying. All right, so now that we stuffed our variable income, we have our singles. Let's go ahead and add this to see what we saved. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10. That is fabulous. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our jar and add our $10. And we are looking forward to counting this up soon for our savings challenge this year. So go ahead, definitely make your guesses. This is what the jar is looking like. There are some 5s, some 20s, some 10s, because I do make change if I need it. So make your guesses of how much you think we saved this year. And after the dollar challenge, I have the same thing with my coins. So here are my coins. And I believe I have a few that I can add to the jar. All right, so that is the coin jar. It is full. And I do have some other coins also, about $20 in quarters rolled up, set aside, that I'm also going to be adding here. So try and make your guesses with the coins as well. It is full. So I am looking forward to counting and seeing how much we saved within there. All right, so now that all of that is done, we can go ahead and bring out our binder and get into our sinking funds. All right, so opening up our binder for our sinking funds. First up, I have annual payments, and that is getting 20, so a $20 bill. Looking at annual payments, I have $500. So this is a $500 placeholder, just to let me know that $500 is in the bank, so I don't have to keep the physical cash there. So in total, we have 500, 20, and 30. So that is 530. And this is going to be used definitely because at the top of the year is when I pay majority of my annual payments. So if you're not familiar, this envelope basically covers any of my subscriptions, and I just pay it once for the year so I don't have to deal with it. So at the top of the year, I pay for Netflix, I pay for Apple Music, and there's one more thing that I'm missing. So all of that gets paid from this fund, and we are on track and able to pay for all of that for what we saved. So that is great. Up next, we have car maintenance, and car maintenance is getting 20, and I'm a little salty with car maintenance. If you watched my last video, then you know I had to pull some money. I didn't take it from car maintenance. I pulled about $500 from car maintenance because I used to have a $1,000 placeholder. But yeah, this has just been the year my car has been acting up, and the costs for her, I was just not anticipating to have to pay that at the end of this year. So let's just hope that Lily is done with all of the things that she needs to be fixed and she does well. And now that we are employed again, I can try and build this back up, get it at a good spot, and hopefully that stress is over because I am just traumatized with car maintenance. It's just the bane of my existence. I cannot stand it. So looking at car maintenance, as I said, we have $500 in the bank, and then in cash that gives us 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 86, 87. So that's $587 in total for car maintenance. Up next, we get into car insurance, and that is getting $75. So adding 75 here, and with me moving to Florida, the car insurance definitely went up. So I bulked this up a little bit more because when I paid my 6-month payment, it was more than I anticipated. So now I'm just trying to be conscious of that. So for my next 6-month payment, I believe that's going to be in June. I want to make sure I have enough. So adding $75 will now put this envelope at 100, 20, 40, 45, 50. So we now have 150 saved within car insurance. Up next, we have Christmas. Christmas is empty, as we can see, and I am not adding anything to it. We will get started with that in the new year. So as of right now, we can skip that, but definitely love that I had it there. So if you didn't, make sure you start that Christmas sinking fund in 2026 to help you out. Up next, we have gifts. Gifts is getting $20. And adding 20 will now bring the envelope to 20, 40, 50, $55 within gifts. After gifts, we have household, and she is finally back in being active. Household, if you aren't aware, is for things that I would need around my home. So if I need any appliances, decor, organization things, because I'm a big organizer, I love to keep things organized, I pull that from household. And now that I'm in a new place, and a few of my things that got broken and damaged during the move, so I had to give some things up and throw some things away. So now I can kind of rebuild and make this apartment feel like my home as well. So I will definitely be taking this out of household to do what I need to do. So adding 40, that will now bring this envelope to 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80. So $280 is in household, which is great. Here we have medical. I am pausing on this as of right now. Once I finalize my health insurance and figure out what my deductible is, I might be adding more money to it because I like to keep my medical with at least the deductible that I may need. But as of right now, we're just not gonna add anything to it. I do have $500, so $500 is in the bank, and then we have $40 in cash. So $540 is where medical is sitting. And then the last envelope that we have is, of course, good old travel. That is getting $100. And I love to keep my travel at a good amount because travel plans just fall in my lap unexpectedly, and I need to be able to jump on it if that's something that I want to do. And I really want to stay with traveling. It's such a blessing and something that I didn't think I'd be able to do. So I do like to keep that as a priority. We have $500 in the bank, and then that's 6, 7. So that is now $700 saved within travel. And that already will be used because I am planning to see my best friend in February. So gotta get on buying those plane tickets. But as for all of the physical cash for my sinking funds, that will complete that. All right, and if we are keeping up with the counting of my paycheck, we will see that I have $200 remaining. And with that $200, I am, of course, going to put that in whatever savings priority I am focusing on right now. And that is going to be my emergency fund. I want to try and get that to 6 months as fast as I can. So adding the last $200 that I have and putting that there. I will be starting with my Roth IRA in 2026, so that will also be back in rotation. But as for this paycheck, it was a blessing, and I'm happy I was able to budget and do what I need to do. So thankful to be getting some full-time income back. And yeah, so that is really all I did with my paycheck, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. It was a little more chaotic than I'm used to, but I'm just trying to go with the flow of life and get back into the routine of making the videos for you guys. So definitely let me know what you think down below in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up so I know that you guys are enjoying it. I want to thank you all so much for sticking with me throughout this crazy hectic year, but I am so excited for 2026. Let me know what you guys are doing, what you're looking forward to. And with all of that, you guys, that's all I have. I will see you all next year with my next video, and I hope you all have a great, happy new year. Bye, guys.